I'm recording this video in Spain because I'm running a 10k tonight here in Spain, and I'm wrapped up because it's been raining a lot, and I recorded a video but I was very near running water, so I hope this is better sound. I just thought that you might get distracted by the sound of lots of rushing water from the swimming pool. But I was reflecting that this week in particular, it's a theme, obviously, working with people in the way I do, that people are going through lots of difficult things in their life, very, very difficult, seemingly roadblocks all the way, difficult people, difficult circumstances, physically difficult, lots and lots of difficulty, and also internal difficulty, anxiety, panic, dread, exhaustion, lots of things that make it very, very difficult to go forward. And so I think something that's often been very, very useful to people is to, one, even though it seems really doesn't seem the thing, but going from the position of having chosen the situation, it can be more empowering to think we've chosen it and that it's not outside our control completely. And it may seem very odd that we've chosen a difficult situation, but often we will have chosen it because we're trying to protect ourselves, because it's familiar. Sometimes we're used to patterns of difficulty, patterns of things stopping us, patterns of people who are difficult in our life. It's been a pattern. So at some level we've chosen it because we know it. Sometimes we've chosen it because the unfamiliar is too frightening, the going into unknown, and also there's doubt. We're not sure that we can achieve what we hope we can, and so therefore keeping it in a loop of difficulty is somehow easier and more familiar. And sometimes we just are trying to protect ourselves from the unknown, because it may not have worked out before. We may have gone into new uncharted waters and it been too hard. So if we go from that position first, that we've chosen it, we don't even need to know why, but although investigating that can be useful. Why would we choose it? Why would we choose this more stuck? And I'm working with people who are having terrible situations, really horrible. So to think they've chosen it, it's a gentle way of just investigating it, but no way do we ever think it's our fault. But if we can empower ourselves with the choice. And then something that's can also be useful is in going into difficult situations. So say there's a great degree of panic or anxiety, and you've actually got to go in and do something in your life that you've got to go and do some situation at work or anywhere in your relationship with people, and you're really dreading it. I've often said to people, just view it as a workshop that you've paid for, that you're going to grow from, that you're going to get skills that you didn't know you could develop, that you'll find untold strength within you, that you will grow from it. And if you go in from the position that this is a workshop, then you can start to use some of the skills that I teach, which is the one of choice. I've chosen this. And also you work with the breath, always bringing the breath right into the body. Ujjayi breath, the yoga breath, the victorious breath, where you breathe deeply into the back of the throat and into the tummy, sort of like this, not sort of like this. And you breathe out, and you do a few of those, or one of those at least, and it can anchor the mind, anchor the brain and the body. And then you can say that can calm the distress, the panic, the anxiety, and then you can stop the narrative that can be destructive. So you can be saying, I am where I am. It's one I use a lot. I've chosen this. I am where I am. It's okay. And then it's quite helpful to say, I don't know how, but I know I'll find a way through this. And that, said over and over, stops the mind running off on its own narrative and keeps anchoring. The breath anchors you in the body, and then you can start to center and find a different way and take different steps, because then it's useful to look at the habitual narratives of, like, it never works out for me, whatever I try to do, or if only that would happen, then I could go forward, all those things. Instead, write them down. Often it's very helpful, and then rewrite beside it one where you turn the emotional set point. So you're going, I know that I am in a big transition at the moment, and I recognise there is challenge in it, but I know I have within me the strength to do it, and I can develop skills through going forward into this. Things like that. You just rewrite the panic phrase that's in your head, and then you practice it and practice it and practice it and practice, because the subconscious mind obviously takes lots of practice. Our conscious mind feeds the subconscious mind, and we took a long time to learn to walk and talk and drive a car, or all of the things that we can do habitually. We took time, and obviously the habits, the patterns that are in us actually took time, but we didn't know it. Anything takes time, and therefore unraveling it, we need to unravel it taking time and practicing and practicing and practicing, and every day using the breath, and every day using the phrase that brings us back, and then investigating why would we choose a difficult path. If we're choosing this, how would we do that? And as I said, it might well be it's just familiar, that it's something that we set up when we were young because a set of circumstances meant that this is the way we went. It also can be because we're afraid of going into uncharted territory because we've never done it before, or we have done it and it didn't work out, so there can be protection there. Or it can be because we're actually on a path that someone else wants us to do and not us. So there's all manner of reasons which are useful for investigation, but practicing every single day and using the breath makes such a difference. And recognizing that the quote from Shakespeare in Hamlet is really valid, where it goes, "There's nothing good or bad, but thinking makes it so." So recognizing that the brain causes pain, also causes joy, but we create the pain by how we think, and we can, even in difficult circumstances, think in a different way, and we can bring ourselves to a center point where we drop more and more into the essence and the place which is always calm, the place that is living this, watching us live this human life, and that knows that we're here to grow and evolve, and that we've got an opportunity. Being in a physical body and with a brain, we can really learn yoga, which is body-mind union, but it's actually union with all that is and ever was. And when we recognize that union, it's easier for us to practice using our body-mind in ways that are helpful to us rather than hindering us. So even starting with using the breath and using the phrase, really investigating our choices, even if it doesn't feel like it. And I do understand difficult things don't feel like we've chosen them. But if we go just to play with it from an empowerment position, it's going to be better for us to recognise, why would we have chosen it? Is it familiar? Is it a pattern? Is it for our growth? Is it because it's part of the way through to something brighter? Is it because we're learning how to come out of a pattern that's deeply ingrained and maybe lifetimes, and we've got an opportunity in this lifetime to clear something that we've been working with for lifetimes? So from that position, then it's easier to do the breath, say I am where I am, it's okay, I don't know how, but I know I'm finding a way through this, and then keep rewriting our narrative, and that means we shift our attitude. And as humans, we can transform our lives when we shift our attitude, and just keep taking those steps.